Started. Welcome those who are just joining. It is a new day, a new week, and a new month and year. So welcome 2026. Super excited to be here with you and to be launching whatever it is you're launching. Um, I've been asking in the chat where people are calling from. We've got Shauna from California, Teresa from Tennessee, and Stephanie from Boise. Leanne from Alberta. She's excited to do the 90-day reset starting on the 15th with her community. Andrea from New Mexico. Brenda from Bluffdale, Utah. Jess is excited for Jumpstart tonight. Awesome. Angie from Virginia. We have somebody from England. Excited to revive my doTERRA business with commitment. I love it. Penny from Cincinnati. And Shauna's goal is to get more sleep and continue growing her doTERRA business with the upward momentum. I love that. So awesome. All right, by way of announcements, we have a really special Jumpstart meeting tonight that's company-wide. So it's basically the launch of the 90-day reset. And there's also some business training in there, like how to use 90-day reset in your business. But Natalie and I will be on. I think Melina Harrison, I think Justin Harrison. So it's going to be a fantastic call. 6 o'clock tonight. I think you go to jumpstart.doterra.com. Let me double check that. Yep, jumpstart.doterra.com. So go check that out if you'd like to join us. Again, that's 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And that's an online event. So super excited for that. Gosh, I'm just excited to be here with you. This is going to be a great call. One of my commitments for 2026 is to uplevel my storytelling, to be a messenger of stories worth telling. And I feel like the oils are this quiet little healer that just needs a voice. And so that's part of my commitment, is to be the voice for these little brown bottles of magic, of liquid light. So those are some of my commitments for the new year. And as part of that, I want to bring on more guests to share their recent success stories. I sometimes tell my stories and they're like prehistoric because now I've been around doTERRA for 18 years. So we want really, really recent successes. And I want to introduce to you a guest who I met at the last convention. Tiara came with her upline to our team party here at the house, and I just briefly heard some of her story. And since then, she has achieved the level of premier. So Tiara is crushing it, and I really wanted her to share some of her story with you so that you could get to know, what's working today, what's working now in the field. So Tiara, I don't want to steal too much of your thunder. So welcome. We're super excited to have you here with us. So share away.
Thank you so much, Andy. I'm so honored and happy and humbled to be here. Happy 2026 and
Likewise.
happy holidays to everyone. Yeah, this is such a great way to jumpstart this year. So it's so nice to have that meeting coming up this evening. And yeah, since the convention, I already loved the product prior to that moment. But after being there and seeing the companies backing and the farming and everything, my passion really awakened inside me. And I had my first enrollment before the end of convention. And I bought a Zytoscan and signed up for that program. And that has been very supportive. I can, jump right in to get people into the 90-day reset, or even just get them some of the products that it recommends. And so that's been very supportive to enrolling people and getting people on the loyalty program. And so that's definitely always the goal. And then now my goal is to also be enrolling builders. So I'm always, visualizing the ideal person, doing my best to be that person and magnetize those people to me. And so, yeah, I'm really just sharing the product everywhere I go. My passion, if somebody has an upset stomach, I'm right there with Digest Zen. That one has been a huge hit for me. And as well as, Supermint or peppermint for headaches, just kind of having the things on hand at all times and capturing the moment when there's an opportunity to share about it. So instead of just like letting it go, I'm like, here it is. And, all of my family has been interested, and it seems like so many people are getting cancer and so many ailments. I've gotten quite a few people on the Symphony of the Cells. I myself am also doing the basic one, and I feel like that has been a huge success as well. And I also have two dogs. And so now I've created little roller for them with some copaiba and Roman chamomile and lavender, and have gotten a couple friends to get some of their products for their pets as well. So it's really, just being passionate about the product and sharing about it. But the thing that has really supported my growth the most is the mentorship. My upline, Alyssa Rose, I was there with when I met you, has been such an amazing uh, I don't want to say cheerleader, but she's been like very helpful in keeping me going and motivated. And then our team captain, Timofeva, has been just exceptional. She has so many trainings already out there, but she's also still very available to support us. And so the mentorship and knowing how to build the organization, the structure, has really been what has supported my premiere at this time. And so now I have my sights on gold and just doing my best to keep that momentum. I'm at the monthly calls. I also signed up for the Momentum Mastery and just doing everything I can to, keep myself motivated every day to make those calls and get out there and talk to people.
That is so awesome. So tell us a little bit more, like some of the nuts and bolts, kind of the nitty-gritty of how do you find people? How do you invite them to learn more? How do you present to them? Because a lot of people are, you know, some people think you can only build online nowadays. Tell us how do you find people? How do you invite them, and how do you present?
So I fortunately have been building and cultivating community here in Los Angeles for a couple of years. So I did already have an email list, and I hold monthly events at my house multiple times a month. So I just started to put doTERRA in, and then now I'm holding in-person classes once a week. And then we also have had multiple classes online to invite people to that Alyssa or Tatiana have been leading. And so it's yeah, connecting to the people that I already know, reaching out to people that I know have had health concerns or, interested in making some extra money or looking at different business opportunities. Here in LA, people are fairly available to, make money in different areas, and they're pretty health conscious. So it is a good market as well. And yeah, and then I also really have a lot of support from the team, of making calls happen. If I don't have information, I can always find it through all the resources. So just really having all the resources available as well.
Awesome. So you have a community already, and so you've just been putting the word out and mostly holding live classes. Is that what I'm
Hmm.
hearing?
Yes. Yeah. In person.
Okay, perfect. And you mentioned earlier Zyto. Do you do
Hmm.
that in a class setting or a one-on-one setting?
Both actually. So I do have people that I schedule, 20-minute wellness consultations with, and then we have the Zyto scan if they can come in person. And then I also have, like I said, with my events, there's an opportunity to arrive early to do a Zyto scan. And I actually am looking up more vendor events to bring the Zyto there as well, because that has definitely been a big hit. People are always curious when they see it. And, if when they see red, they're very motivated to support their health.
Perfect. So I tried to capture some of your key points. I love that you talked about visualizing the builder that you want to find. Natalie and I are huge fans of the power of visualizing, like, and not just kind of yearning. There's a big difference between kind of yearning for something and then visualizing it as if it's already happened. And so I love, it sounds like that's a regular exercise that you do. Can you talk to us more about that?
Yes, yeah. So we draw out the chart of our organization. So we're visualizing like the growth and the depth in the organization, but then also the ideal people that we want to build with. Like, what are the qualities that they have, already, in the health area, uh, self-motivated, you know, I also like to have people that are spiritual and, have faith and so yeah, just really thinking about uh, like and I'm meeting people all the time. I'm like, wow, you're a really motivated, inspiring person. Like you'd be an ideal person on the team. So it's like I'm just nurturing all of those relationships as well and kind of like holding the vision of, building an international team in Brazil and Europe and um yeah, just keeping that
Awesome.
vision and doing my best to magnetize it to me.
I love that so much. And I love how specific you're getting with your avatar, right? Your ideal builder. You're getting down to even like they're a spiritual person, like someone of faith. Like that's so specific. And that's what I've found to be true is the more specific we are, the more magnetic we are at attracting the thing we're trying to attract. So if we're vague in general, like I just want a builder, like I just want anyone, I'll take anyone. That tends to be what we show up with is a lot of whatever. So that's a powerful principle. You also mentioned Symphony of Cells. Tell us how do you incorporate that into your business?
Yeah, so I like to share. So they have so many protocols there. So depending on the person's needs, there seems to be a lot of like digestive issues and so many things that when I'm showing them the options of, here's different supplements you can take or different oils. And then I share about the power of the symphony of the cells and how they all work together and share some of, the testimonials. Uh, you know, like for me right now, it's been with people that have been diagnosed with cancer, getting them on like the Maxim protocol and forgiveness. And so just sharing with them the power of, the layering of the oils and uh, just how beneficial they are to all of the cells and, transformational.
That's awesome. You also mentioned how you have you regularly use the Zyto scanner to help people get onto loyalty rewards. How do you do that?
So when they see red, they want to, support that.
Mhm.
So I really do my best to enroll everybody in the 90-day program
Mm.
because that gets them, going for 90 days. And then also, want to stay on foundational wellness once they start seeing that happening. They want to keep putting citrus oils in their waters and then I'm doing my best to even get people into like the basic symphony of the cells and, just always sharing something new with them, just
Mhm.
continuing to stay in touch with them. I personally have been reaching out to all of them, and we're also going to start some continued education classes. So
Mhm.
that way we can invite people there. So as people start to taper off the 90 days, we're getting them into continued education.
That's awesome. So it sounds like you're personalizing it through the scan, but then you're also making sure that the education's happening. We found that education is critical to creating a lifetime consumer, right? A lifetime product user. So I love that so much. So a couple of times you've mentioned a really supportive upline. I'm guessing that there are some people on this call who may not feel like they have a super supportive upline. There's no system, there's no training, maybe they don't feel like there's anything. What would you say to someone who might be in that camp?
So there are so many resources available on the doTERRA websites, and all of the people that I met at convention, even if they're not my upline, we have that same team vibe. So there
Mhm.
are people to reach out to with those questions. And, like there's these calls and, like I mentioned of the momentum mastery, there's a lot of opportunity to work with others on this team. It does feel like one big team.
So true. Yep, that's what we love about doTERRA's culture, right? It's one big family.
Hmm.
I love that. So if I understand right, you weren't really building before convention, and then you started building around convention time. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Wow. So you've built to premiere since convention.
Yes. Hmm.
That's incredible. That's so inspiring. What other words of wisdom or inspiration do you have for anyone who's listening?
I definitely the visualizing and, keeping that momentum and just planning, like planning out January, planning out February to March, like holding the vision of like, okay, these are the events that I can hold, you know, keep keep moving, just every day picking up the phone again, following up with that person, nurturing a relationship over here of someone that you see as a very potential builder, just really, personalizing that time and really just loving the products and really just sharing with passion.
Awesome. I'm sure that as you reach out to people, you probably get a lot of no's. Um,
Correct.
to tell us, what do you do to keep a clean mindset, as Matt Hall talks about? What do you do to just keep yourself in that game after all those no's?
Keep remembering the yeses. And we also have a like a little chart. So if you draw like 20 squares and then it's like you do like a little X for a no and like a star for a yes. When you start to like do 20, 40 squares, you'll
Mhm.
see how many yeses you actually are getting in all
Mm,
of those no's. And that does help keep you going too, to see like, oh, well, in all those 10 no's, I got three yeses and a maybe, so
that's awesome.
helps to see it a little like that too.
So inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'd love to open it up to anybody who has questions for Tiara. If you want to go ahead and raise your hand, um, she has offered to be available to answer your questions. So go ahead and raise your hand and we can bring you on live. Or if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. There were a couple questions that I already answered in the chat. Uh, so for those wondering, Momentum Mastery is a mentoring program offered by Matt and Shantae Hall, and you can just direct message them on socials. Um, all right. Anybody else have any questions for Tiara? If not, I know that you had another commitment this morning, so we would love to just thank you and honor you. We celebrate your win and your progress. I understand you're going on the incentive trip to the Dominican Republic.
Yes, I am. Yep.
That's so awesome.
And
You
leadership in March. Yeah.
fantastic. So well deserved. So we are celebrating you here as well. And thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. So nice to be with everyone. Thank you.
Absolutely. God bless.
Thank you. You too. Have a great day.
Fantastic. Wow. Well, I hope that was inspiring for you as it was for me. Um, I just loved connecting at convention and hearing, so many people tend to focus on the negative and think, that nobody's having success anymore. Um, doTERRA is not growing anywhere for anyone, but it's just not true. And Tiara is a great example. Tiara actually um, offered to have, well, she suggested that we bring some of her upline to come on and share their stories. So I've got one of them lined up for I think 2 weeks from now, and then hopefully we'll get another one lined up soon thereafter. So actually, yeah, I think we have one next week and then one the week after. So want to keep bringing stories and successes to you. Um, my experience is that success breeds success. And so the more we can get into the energy of success, the more contagious it is, the more it tends to replicate and spread. So thank you again, Tiara. Um, well, the time is yours. I'd love to open it up to any other questions anybody has. If you want to raise your hand, if you want to put it in the chat, I am here to field your questions. I'd love to hear more about your goals and your goal setting, what it is that you want to create with this new year. What kind of new creations are stirring in your soul? So if you want to talk that through, or if you want to share some of your visions and goals, go ahead and put that in the chat. Okay, anyone have any specific goals they want to share? All right, Shauna, one of her goals is to create a space where her team and clients feel supported and cared for. That is so lovely. I love that. Thank you. All right, Angie's goal is to learn how to find and develop successful builders. Fantastic. Um, if I could offer some coaching there, I would go check out the business building guide. And there's a huge section in there on finding builders and developing leaders. So definitely leverage resources, right? Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Andrea says bringing at least 3 people to the 90-day reset. I love that. 90-day reset is a powerful, powerful tool, and so much has been done for you. It's so incredible. Laura Jacobs is, the largely the creator of that program, and she has just poured heart and soul. She was over yesterday, and we were just talking about how much she's put into that, and we hope you take full advantage of the 90-day reset. Shelly says, I just started a hypnotherapy club where we'll experiment with oils and hypno meditations and tips and tools for everyday stress in life. Awesome. Fantastic. One more coaching that I would offer is change your language from my goal is to learn how to find and develop successful builders. Change that already to I am finding and developing successful leaders. So the power of affirmations, we often talk about affirmations, but affirmations is putting things into a form that affirms things that we want. And sometimes we even do it through a question. So an affirmation might be, why am I so good at attracting and developing successful leaders? I love that. Okay. Cindy says, we started the year by offering aroma touches to our team members. Great way to connect so far. So powerful, right? The aroma touch always has been and always will be a beautiful way for humans to just connect. And everybody is craving connection. Love that. Wanda, learn more about the business. Focus on inviting for classes. And Brandy's goal is to carve out time weekly, nurturing inactive ones and sharing new products they've missed out on. Awesome. Love that. Esther, to serve as many people as needed to replace and even surpass my pre-retirement income. Awesome. So, so powerful. Can I share a resource that we kind of rediscovered quite recently? Um, it's a book that Laura Jacobs shared with us, and gosh, I think it was quite a few years ago. I don't remember exactly when, but it's a book called the Sultan's Seven Secrets. That's a mouthful. It's a tongue twister, isn't it? Um, and it basically takes the tale or the legend of Aladdin, and it creates a metaphor. And there's a whole story. I can't remember the details, but it's basically this idea. It's basically a how-to guide of practicing the law of attraction, right? And it's some of the most practical and powerful advice, and it's a really short read too. I wish I had the book right here, but it's literally like you could read it in an afternoon. So I highly recommend anybody who wants to lean into creation and creating the life they want, um, whether it's a doTERRA goal, whether it's a relationship goal, a family, whatever space you're working on. Um, I recommend that you go buy that book. 140 pages, Tandy. Thank you. So go check out The Sultan's Seven Secrets. Um, awesome. Great, great resource. All right. Well, what other questions do you have for me today? How can we support you in your goals, in your dreams, your visions, your blocks, limiting beliefs, whatever's coming up for you? I'm here to serve. I'd love to hear from you. What are the top takeaways from Tiara's success story? As she was sharing, what came up for you? Um, what what were you inspired by? Um, I know there were some comments already, but I'd love to hear what connected for you. And I've asked this question in the past. If if an AI engine were to go in and read your thoughts, and basically scan and summarize your thoughts, what would your thoughts be around your ability to have success? Do you believe that you can have success? And do you, um, like if you were to summarize, like what percentage of my thoughts about success are positive? What percentage of me thinks I can have success? Um, so um, you can tell that Tiara is committed to her mindset and that she is actively nurturing a healthy mindset. Um, and she believes in the product and she's actively sharing that belief with others. So I love it. Somebody says the thing that inspired them was just staying motivated. Angie says to keep an ongoing calendar. Absolutely. Shauna says she's very consistent, gives opportunity to find out how to help people with their wellness needs and interests. Yeah. One thing I forgot to point out while she was on with us, did you notice that when she's helping and supporting those with really serious health issues, what did she say what was the Symphony of Sales protocol that she uses? One of them was forgiveness. Now, what in the world does forgiveness have to do with deep, deep illness? Um, as you can imagine, I believe it has everything to do with it. Every time we hear about someone who's not well, Natalie automatically goes to, gosh, I wonder what their emotional landscape is like. Um, I wonder where where their heart is. And she's not talking about their physiology heart, but their emotional heart. What does their emotional life look like? So, yes, Brenda is saying emotional breakthrough sessions regularly help to break old patterns and beliefs. So true, right? Um, Penny says intentional in how she chooses builders. Um, yes, and Shauna recommends another great book, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. It was actually written by Boyd Truman's mother. So she was a legend. That was one of the first books that turned us on to emotional healing. I think we got a copy 25 years ago, and it was a game changer. So if you haven't read that book, I recommend it. Okay, we have a question from Tandy. What's the best way to not get overwhelmed by all the events that come to you that are offered like training events? We started building up a convention like Tiara and if it premieres well. Congratulations, Tandy. We'd love to have you come on and share your story with us at some point. Um, and today is an option. So if you're open for that, go ahead and raise your hand. Um, but as far as your question, I do feel like wanting to be part of all the training and it can get overwhelming. Yes. So we have a really, really good problem in doTERRA, and that is there's 1,000 different ways to build doTERRA, and there's dozens and dozens of trainings out there. Everything from, Strengths Finder to Symphony of Cells to Aroma Touch to, the emotional stuff. There's so many options, right? And my coaching for you would be to drop into um, what are your strengths? Where where is your zone of genius? Um, if you are a very nurturing and kind of a healer personality, then a training like Symphony of Cells could be right up your lane. It could be a perfect fit, hand in glove for you to use as a model in your business. If, on the other hand, your personality type is more of a warrior, right? Like you're all about getting results, getting things done, driving for finishing a project, then something like Symphony of Cells might not be a fit. Um, so I would just be, first of all, give yourself permission to not have to go to every training. You there's there are more than you can ever attend. And it's, just go to the space of gurus. Um, there are so many you could choose from, just in the domain of personal development. There are way more than you could ever um, learn from. So I would just drop into your heart and sit in the question, where's my zone of genius? And what is needed right now? There will also be seasons of your life, seasons of your doTERRA business. And so to feel like I've got to learn it all now, like in your case, Tandy, you just built a premiere. You're probably feeling pressure to be, more to show up for your team and to be supportive and to know more. But I want to give you permission right now that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be everything. Your team can be on their own learning journey and and trust the process. This is a phrase that Natalie uses all the time, and it's worth making a poster and hanging up in your house. Trust the process. Um, just trust that you know enough today to do what's needed for today. You have the right knowledge, the right intuition. You have everything you need to make the connections you need to serve those you need today. So just trusting the process. So that would be my coaching for that question. So thank you for that question. All right. What else is coming up for you today? Anyone? Okay. Well, if there are no other questions, then we can sign off for today and reconvene next week. So if there are no other questions, thank you so much for joining. I hope you were as inspired by the all the things, all um, the success stories. It sounds like Tandy has one as well of hitting premiere since convention. Okay, Leanne says, do you recommend only hosting one or two Natural Solutions Unplugged? I got to be honest, I believe wholeheartedly in the Natural Solutions Unplugged model. It's basically just gathering a bunch of people. You can have small events, you can have medium, you can have big events, and just talking through health issues, looking them up in a reference guide. Our favorite is the Essential Life book, and just having real conversations about health needs. So I just noticed that on the Essential Life website, there's a link up at the top for the next Unplugged event that'll be held here in Utah. I think that was January 22nd. So um, anybody who's local, and by the way, we're also doing the Experience doTERRA the 23rd and 24th. So even if you're not in Utah, it may be worth your time to come to Utah, bring your builders, your prospects, and then you could attend the Unplugged event on Thursday, and then the Experience doTERRA event Friday and Saturday. So go check that out at essentiallife.com. But yes, in terms of what I recommend, I would recommend hosting as many Natural Solutions Unplugged events as you can. Get your team hosting them. To me, they are it's the best model out there today. I don't think I told this story, but um, right after the Blue and Presidential Summit, Natalie actually drove to California and she hosted an Unplugged event. And she was the only presenter. There were some other people who told stories, but she was the main presenter. And she did 3,500 PV in sales that evening. Now, we used to do that a lot in the early days, but it's been a long time since we've had that kind of a class. So, how many of you would like to have a class with 3,500 PV in sales? Anyone? Anyone? Me too. Um, so we didn't need a Dr. Hill. We didn't need a Dr. Oscar Thorpe. It was literally just Natalie pulling out the Essential Life book and people talking through their health issues and um, simple as that. Not a lot of structure. Ruth says, is there any specific level of compliance we still need to maintain at unplugged events? Or can we share anything and everything if it's not recorded? So I would just ask, hey, because we want to um, talk openly about any and all health issues, let's keep phones at the check-in desk and not do obviously any recording. And at that point, I would say it's all free game. You can talk about anything. Yeah, definitely don't try to be don't try to follow um, yeah, the standard compliance rules. Um, Andrea says, did she do scans? No, there was no Zytoscan. There was no Itobi scan. It was all just people talking about their health issues and looking them up in the Essential Life book. Um, Great questions. Awesome. So, any other questions? Raise your hand if you want to come on with your questions. Okay, Sophie.
Hi, Andy.
Hi,
Good
Sophie. How are you
morning.
doing?
Good, and you?
Doing great, thank you.
Great, great. So after you were saying the natural unplugged, so I have a scheduled event for the end of January. That I'm called. Sorry. So I'm working with a store that I know the one of the owners. She's the grandmother of one of my son's friends.
Okay.
But we did a holiday party event, and I was there with the doTERRA products, and then at the end of January we're hosting a holistic happy hour,
Mm.
morning edition. Okay, and I'm like, yeah, this is so exciting, but I don't know what to do. We have it scheduled. We're sending the invitations, and I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I wanted to ask, like, the name sounds amazing. I'm like, okay, we're gonna try BFG, we're gonna try electrolytes, we can try the collagen also, or maybe just oils with water. Uh, but I'm like, there's so many things you could do. But then I'm like, oh, maybe I should do a natural solutions unplugged, or like I'm like,
Uh-huh.
so I don't know. Of course, the name is so broad. I don't know what people is expecting. The good thing is that they're taking care of all the like all the snacks and all the healthy stuff. So I just have to come
Oh, great. That's awesome.
with my oils, my book, and like teach, or like share. But I don't really know what to do.
I love that so much. Holistic happy hour. That's so great. We just got back from Puerto Vallarta with the family for the Christmas break, and everything is scheduled around happy hour. We're like blown away how, it's just not the world we live in. So it was funny. So holistic health happy hour. I love that so much. Um, I ran it through Chat GPT and and it only came up with about 100 ideas. So um, gosh, where do we start? Um, So you could, how traditionally you have a bar where people get drinks. You could have a wellness bar where people make roll-on blends, aroma inhaler bar, hand and neck ritual station, scent match station, um, and then you can have a mini oil and tea pairing. So those are just a few ideas. Um, and then you could, well, what I think what I'm going to do is just copy and paste this whole thing into into Zoom. Hang on. Okay. So I love the fact that somebody else is taking care of a lot of the treats. That is that is so nice. Oh, of course it's not letting me paste everything. Um, Maybe I'll screen share. That's what I'll do. Okay. So let's just take a look at the first draft ideas that ChatGPT
It's
came up
it's,
with.
it's kind of like just a moment to share and like for them to invite their current clients, and I'm also probably gonna invite my clients too to like help with ongoing education. But it's like, all right, I got myself into a problem, like between
I
the
love
expectations.
I love how you keep creating these great problems. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm getting
Um,
out of my comfort zone.
that's so great. So just glance through. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see it.
So these are just some tons and tons of ideas. The first one is for choosing theme. I talked through the wellness bar ideas. And then these are more just kind of atmosphere things, kind of setting the vibe. You could do mocktails. It's a bit of work, but there's actually a whole book. I remember Oil Life used to have a book on drinks that you could make with essential oils. So that could be fun. I kind of like this oil and tea pairing because tea
Mhm.
is probably healthier than most mocktail drinks that people would want. Although I do have to say, one of our favorite drinks is to take sparkling water and then just add a drop of cassia and then a drop of grapefruit. It's really, really yummy. Be sure to drink it with a metal straw because you can burn your lips with the cassia, but it's really, really tasty. It has a natural sweetness that's really fun.
Okay.
And then here are some games that you could do. Those might be a lot of work. You'd have to be selective. You could do some light education. You could do a whole event flow with maybe do some giveaways. Um, and just keeping the focus on like interaction, like what's one thing that's been nourishing you lately? What's one area of your life where you'd love to feel more supported in? Um, and then ideas for giveaways. Here are some invite ideas. And if you really want to go deluxe and premium, here are some ideas. So
Okay. What did you put on ChatGPT to like to get came up with so many options?
I just said ideas for holding an essential oil holistic happy hour.
Okay. Okay. And I'm also worried because like of course I wanna do it and if I'm gonna do giveaways or gifts, um, but like I also want to ideally get people to sign up.
Mhm.
So
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 the key with giveaways is to never have the giveaways compete with their purchases. So Natalie and I don't like to do oil giveaways ever. We might do like a little car diffuser, right? Because those can be really, really cheap and it doesn't compete with their doTERRA purchases.
mhm.
We also do like little shaker bottles, especially if we're going to be promoting VMG. And that would be a great idea. We actually have some shaker bottles if you want to talk to me afterwards. They're just the little guys with a little coil thing inside so that when they make their VMG, they can do it easily and on the go.
Right.
So shaker bottles are a great way to support product usage without competing, right? Without cannibalizing.
Okay.
Um, Gosh, what else? An empty roller bottle, so they could make their own blend. Um, yeah, there's a bajillion different tools for supporting the stuff they would be buying that you want them to buy from doTERRA.
Okay. Okay. And would you still do like a kind of like still do like a mini class, right?
I would try to incorporate some education, but I would keep it light. So maybe keep the education to just 10 or 15 minutes
Okay.
and keep it interactive. I love those question prompts that it had. That was really good.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, you're an inspiration, Sophie. I love all these good problems you keep creating for yourself.
I'm like, I like, how do I grow? You know, like I need to find builders and I need to find more clients and also get retention. So it's kind of like, oh, all right,
I
what
know,
can we
right?
do?
I love how creative you're getting. You're always thinking outside the box.
I hope it works.
Awesome. We'll be cheering for you.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, we'll see you. Okay, it looks like Kathy is raising her hand. Okay, while Kathy is coming on, somebody asked, where can we buy those shaker bottles? As I thought about it afterwards, it's probably not super duplicatable for us to be offering shaker bottles. Um, so I'm just checking on Amazon to see what they have. Um, Kind of curious. Um, Yeah, they've got some $10 shaker bottles. There's a 4-pack for $25. That's cheap. Um, is that a, no, that's a, yeah, the cheapest thing I can find on Amazon is 4 for $25, which isn't bad. So go check out Amazon. Keep it simple. Don't try to make it too fancy. Ours have like a printed message on them about like being healthy and whatever, but totally not necessary. Just keep it simple. Okay, Kathy, you're on. If you want to
Okay,
unmute.
I'm trying to figure it out. Am I in? You're on. I'm in.
Yes, we can hear you, Kathy.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, this is kind of an elementary question, but I'm thinking of how Natalie went about giving everyone her number and giving them the opportunity to order $3,500. So, in a class, when you have people that aren't members or are members, of course, members can make their own order. But what about the logistics of getting everyone on your link?
Sure. So if I go back to our earliest days of building, we always tried to have at least one existing team member for every 2 or 3 prospects, for this very reason. Um, First of all, they can give great testimonials during the class. But second of all, when it comes time to enroll the people, if one person is trying to take care of 12 or 15, it's not going to go well. You're gonna have a lot of people fall through the cracks. So we try to make sure you have enough existing teams there to take care of the new prospects. So and we have laptops, we have tablets, whatever we need to get them signed up right there on the spot. So we're not giving them a link. I mean, you could use your link if they have their own device, but we just try to have all the bases covered so that, if they didn't even bring their phone to the event, they can still get signed up. So that's how Natalie took care of it, and that's how I recommend everybody do it.
And so I remember one class you suggested that we always ask them to sign up as an advocate.
Uh-huh.
And I have found that trying to give anyone a link, they never get the advocate. I mean, sometimes they do
Yeah,
by accident. And then how do you go
right.
about uh, enrolling? I don't understand the back office where it says you're committing to another, you're subscribing. When you go through that thing and send out a link, it says you can do a subscription on any one
Uh-huh.
of the products. And most of the time, I wouldn't suggest that I wouldn't know if how how they would know.
Yeah, so what I would do is, like you said, I would tell them, look, you're going to fall in love with these products and you're not going to be able to keep them to yourself. And so when you share, it might be 3 months, it might be 3 years from now, but when you share, because you're a wellness advocate, then doTERRA can send you a little check. And it's just, I would just recommend that we set it up the right way now so that we never have to think about it again. It's done. So that's how I would frame it. And I would just help, explain that as you're walking through the steps. And tell them there's no commitment to share, there's no commitment to build. You're literally just setting up the path for doTERRA to compensate you for sharing. So that's how I would frame that. And then your other question about subscriptions, I would say we're going to get you started with the kit that your family needs for now. But the last thing I want is for anybody to have a bunch of product that they don't know what to do with. So let's go ahead and pull out your calendar and set up a one-on-one where we can go over you, your family, all of their health needs, and make a strategic plan. We could even do scans if you use scanners, and let's make a tailored plan for you to use these products, because that's my goal, is for you to not only have the products but to know how to use them. So that's how I would position the lifestyle overview or wellness consult, and get them. So I wouldn't push the subscription at the enrollment stage. I would tell them, please don't worry about that right now. You know, some people want it at sign up, but most people, they want to get to know the products. They want to get to know their own health needs and customize it. So let's worry about that at the wellness consult.
I
Uh,
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people schedule that at a time once the package has arrived, so they can do the unboxing together, which is a really fun way just to you know help them set the supplements in a place where they're going to use them every day. Put the oils for sleep next to their bedstand so that they get used in the right way. So just a lot of little simple things like that can make all the difference in the product actually getting used and maximizing their product usage. Any other questions?
I think that's it. I did have one situation where an 11-year-old child was so wanting to open every single bottle, and I think that's great. I do love that. But
Okay.
I'm wondering, and I know a lot of children are very intuitive and they pick the oils they want. And maybe it should just
Mhm.
be like breakfast. You can have whatever you want, you know?
Uh-huh.
And an 11-year-old child would be old enough to be careful and not spill the oils and they have dropper proof bottles. So what?
Sure.
So maybe that's just a silly apprehension that I have. You don't hide them away because that way they don't get to know them and find their friends.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You got to tailor the setup to the family and their needs. Um, if they have little kids that have access to the oregano, I would be concerned and want to keep those, cinnamon. I'd want to keep
Yeah.
that away from little kids opening the bottles. Um, but yeah, if it's an 11-year-old, usually they're pretty responsible. Just do some training. I always, every time we have a wellness consult, I always train them on citrus oils. Do not use I train them on the photo um, sensitivity. So do not wear citrus oils before they go out in the sun or do sunbathing or anything like that. So um, just some basic safety stuff. Some of these oils are hot. Don't use them on the oil without diluting them. Don't use them on the skin, I mean. So a couple of safety tips we like to give at our wellness consults.
So, by the way, I don't know if everyone knows this, but bergamot is a citrus oil.
Yes, it is.
And we don't really think of it that way. But I had a friend who thought it was the greatest thing and suntanned in it. And man, did she pay
Oh,
the price. She
yeah,
thought she was getting
please.
herself really better.
Please train your people. Yep. The only citrus oil that's safe in the sun is green mandarin. So yeah, steer clear of bergamot in the sun.
Yes. Okay,
Great.
she's living still, so that's good.
Good.
Okay.
Awesome. Hey, thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on,
Thank you very
Kathy.
much. Bye
Okay, have
bye.
a good one. Okay, we had a lot of comments come through. Somebody said um, they are in momentum, but they need to take a little pause while they have a surgery. Is there a way to find more online way to build while I'm confined to home and medical visits? There is an online training at training.doterra.com on how to build online. So I would definitely start there. I believe it's free. And doTERRA has put so much into these online trainings. They're really, really good. And if someone has the link, here it is. Okay, so if you go to training.doterra.com, this is what you'll find. And you have to scroll down and then you have to click on more courses to show all of them. And it's called doTERRA Social Media Academy. So that is a great one. Um, I think there might even be a section inside this one about online, but anyways, focus first here. doTERRA Social Media Academy. Oh, sorry, that one is not free. I was wrong. Some of these are free. The BBG, the Business Building Guide, is free, but this one does have a cost. So well worth it though. Super high value. And we will be praying for you in your surgery and in your recovery, holding space for perfect recovery and healing. Okay. Wow. I see so many questions here. Um, Great question, Brandy. Okay, let me answer your question. So, great. Okay, and then Ruth threw in some ideas for giveaways. Awesome. Um, okay. Oh, and then Jean is saying that the 90-day reset includes a blender bottle with the third month purchase. Love that. doTERRA is taking care of us. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining. That was a fantastic kickoff to the year, and I'm honored to be on this journey with you, to share the mantle of healing the world. That is what we're about, and it's a gift to share that with you. So thank you so much for joining, and we do have another success story lined up for next week. I can't remember which one it is, but we are excited to bring you more energy of success. Thanks so much, and have a great week.